everyone. Welcome to the Movie Session Show. My name is Fariva, and today is Super Bowl night, and of course, we're getting a whole bunch of trailers. I would say one of the more surprising ones we actually got tonight happens to be the Avenger of Cliff Booth. If you don't recognize what that name is, you would know that that is actually Brad Pitt's character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is directed by Quentin Tarantino. I believe in the last year or so, we've been hearing about the fact that there was going to be a sequel to the film. And then I believe instead of Quentin Tarantino doing the directing, it's now going to be David Fincher, who is also, of course, known for doing Gone Girl, for Seven, a lot of these classic, mystery films. But instead of doing anything with Mindhunter, of course, he's now going to be directing the sequel to Cliff Booth. And I think one of the biggest surprises that we got was actually the first teaser trailer for the film, which is going to be actually releasing on Netflix. This is going to be a sequel, as I said before. This is going to be based on Brad Pitt's character, as we said before. This is actually the role that won Brad Pitt his Oscar win. So, yeah, I'm very curious to see what this sequel is going to be about. So, without further ado, let's get right down into the first trailer for The Avenger of Cliff Booth.
Subdue those hippie intruders.
Something like that.
You say that like this a lot.
I talking about
talents, but I know better than getting away with a good story. Look at this. Absolutely. He blocked the video. No. Good thing.
Wow, look at giving like a lot of. I think you got like, ooh, I mean, it makes sense. It's like
Okay.
what's fun there? Oh, I love the big thing. Naturally, those are on top of the thing.
Think they're real funny, huh?
The Oscar! Okay, so that was the first look at The Adventure of Cliff Booth. I have to say, I love how very creative it was. I mean, I was just saying how this movie won Brad Pitt his Oscar, and then we just saw, like, the nod to, like, the Oscar that he got. So, well, that was a really fun bit right there. I love, again, we don't know a whole lot about this trailer. I think this is really giving us the classic, this is the trailer. We will not learn too much about what this movie's going to be about, not until we get it from our next trailer. Usually the next trailer is when we get a little bit more of an idea of what the plot details are. But that being the case, this is actually a really fun trailer. As I said, I was saying, like, it really gives off some of the best, 70s vibes that we get from, like, those movies. And that's what I'm getting the sense of here. It feels really rad. It feels really fun. I love how they even were bleeping some of the more explicit stuff, because technically speaking, you're not supposed to say those things on national television or you'll get fined by the FCC. So I love how Netflix was, like, really creative in making sure that they don't get, penalized for that. But I think that this is a really interesting trailer. I was aware of the fact that Elizabeth Debicki was going to be in this, and she won an Emmy for The Crown a while ago. And it was a really fun film. Again, as I said, I don't know what's really going on, but I mean, again, it is an adventure of Cliff Booth, so there's probably going to be a lot of adventure for this film, and you can get the sense of that right here. It does give a sense of, like, I don't know, the music was giving me, like, a lot of James Bond feel to it, but of course, it's like, there's a little bit of a heist going on. Like, I mean, that's usually what I think about, like, when I hear that music. It's like, oh, that's, like, giving, like, a heist vibe. So, again, this is a film that is really calling back to Hollywood, like, just as the way that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was, like, called back to Hollywood. This is what we're getting the sense here, of course. This is probably going to be more of a fictional depiction of Hollywood in the 70s, because that's what they did with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when the movie initially came out back in, 2019. I think that's one of the more better Quentin Tarantino films, in my opinion. I think one of his best ones, of course, is Inglourious Basterds. But even though this is not going to be directed by Quentin Tarantino, you can get the sense that this is going to be a David Fincher film. As I said, like, this is giving off a lot of the highs, the thrills, the adventure that we definitely get from a David Fincher movie. I think that makes a lot more sense why he's more capable of doing a film like this. And doing so forward with Netflix, right? I mean, David Fincher at this point has quite a really good relationship with them. He's done Mindhunter, he's done that killer movie with Michael Fassbender. So yeah, I'm very excited to see this film. I think this is a really great way to kind of give us a big surprise, because I was a little like, whoa, I didn't even expect that we're going to get a Netflix trailer for this. So yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to see this film. I mean, this looks really, really interesting, but I want to know your thoughts having seen it yourself. For those who have seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, what are your thoughts knowing that we're about to get a sequel? I mean, not very usual for a Quentin Tarantino movie, but here it is. We're seeing it for the first time. Let me know your thoughts. about what we've gone so far. What do you think about the whole vibe at the moment? Learn your thoughts below. Make sure to like and subscribe.